More than 3,000 years ago, the great warrior Odysseus undertook his journey home from the Trojan War. It's one of the great sagas in literature about longing for one's homeland, in his case, for ancient Ithaca. But until now, nobody has ever really known exactly where ancient Ithaca was. Now there's a theory that it's right here. We're on the Peliki Peninsula of Cephalonia Island in western Greece. It's long been known that the modern island of Ithaca does not match the descriptions of Ithaca in Homer's Odyssey, but no other island does either. Then a British businessman named Robert Bittlestone noted that if the Peliki Peninsula were separated by water from the rest of Cephalonia, it would indeed be an island fitting Homer's description of Ithaca almost perfectly. Well, now scientists are finding evidence that indeed Peliki was once separated by a channel of water. A growing number of international experts are taking very seriously the idea that ancient Ithaca was right here on Peliki. I began my journey to look for signs of Homer's Ithaca. Here on Peliki, some local people are thrilled and inspired by the idea that this was Odysseus' native land. One is Gerasimus Monokrousos, a farmer who has found ancient tombs from approximately the period of Odysseus. Those tombs don't prove that it was Odysseus who ruled here, but the ancient graves do show that Mycenaean civilization of Odysseus was present here at that time.
Από κάτω εδώ, σε βάθος. Ναι, εγώ πιστεύω ότι η θαλάμη, η υπόγειη θαλάμη του Οδυσσέα είναι από κάτω εδώ.
You discovered this?
Ναι, βέβαια.
Why do you think that Odysseus is buried right here under our feet?
Πρωτίστως υπάρχουν με τρία σύμβολα εδώ, όπως αυτό εδώ. Αυτό το τρίγωνο, αυτό το τρίγωνο εδώ, αυτό εκεί και αυτό εκεί.
I see. I then traced the spots that Bittlestone and others have identified as potential Homeric sites. If Peliki was ancient Ithaca, then where might Odysseus have actually had his palace? One possibility is that hill there right behind me called Castelli. The geography seems to fit where one would expect a king to have had his palace, overlooking the harbor there, securing this area. And in addition, there are some ancient fortifications which have yet to be excavated that appear to surround the area. Some ancient pottery shards that appear to be from that period have been found in the vicinity. So there are other candidates, but one possibility is that when Odysseus returned, he returned right there. I drove half an hour to take a closer look at the beach that Bittlestone thinks may be the one to which Odysseus returned after his long journey home from Troy. Homer describes the harbor to which Odysseus returned to Ithaca after his long journey. He says, "There two precipitous promontories opposed jut out to close in the harbor and shelter it from the big waves made by the winds blowing so hard on the outside." If you look there at that harbor, there are indeed two precipitous promontories jutting out. And so one theory is that is precisely the harbor to which Odysseus returned if Peliki was ancient Ithaca. Residents of modern Ithaca will be outraged, but people here on Peliki are laying claim to this land as Odysseus's. When you were a boy or a young man, did people ever think that this was ancient Ithaca?
Όχι, δεν πίστευε. Δεν πίστευε και ακόμα δυσκολεύονται να πιστέψουν αυτό το πράγμα ότι η Ιθάκη είναι η επαρχία της Παλικής.
Do you ever wonder whether you may have Odysseus's blood in your veins?
Πιστεύω ότι είμαστε γόνοι του Οδυσσέα. Εδώ, το μέρος αυτό. Απόλυτα το πιστεύω.
For my last stop, I followed more clues from the Odyssey to search for a pig farm by a spring, where Odysseus stopped to rest on his way home to the palace. Homer describes how Odysseus, after landing on that harbor, comes up the hill and comes to a spring at Arethusa, where he goes to the pig farm of a man called Eumaeus. Well, here we have a farm. Right now it's a goat farm. Perhaps it could have been pigs. And there is a spring here where the animals can get water. The spring in Homer is called Arethusa. The village right here today is called Atharas. It's a very similar name. And Homer describes how beside it is Raven's Rock. There we have a rock up there where ravens still circle today. Maybe it's just coincidence, but boy, it just strikes the romance in my heart.